Hello everyone, welcome to Prelims 360 session. In today's class, we'll try to understand how to predict topics for civils prelims. In the previous session, we understood how to study for the prelims and we also understood some of the important concepts related to core dimension so that we can able to draw the line in order to acquire the right knowledge. As a extended part of how to study for the prelims, we'll try to understand how to predict topics for the prelims. In order to predict certain topics for the prelims, I have taken word mapping as a theme. In word mapping, there are 2 to 3 subcategories. The first one is the countries surrounding different seas. The second category is the places or regions which are largely in news. For example, Ukraine and Russia conflict which is happening from the last month. And along with that, certain areas where India has substantial interest. For example, Indian Ocean. Likewise, mapping related questions can be broadly classified into 3 categories. Now I have taken one category in order to understand or to predict certain topics for the prelims. After analyzing the previous papers, we came to know that more or less UPSC is asking good number of questions on Mediterranean Sea, the countries surrounding the Mediterranean Sea. So the first and foremost question regarding the Mediterranean Sea and the Black Sea was appeared in 2014 prelims. So along with after that in 2015 also we got one question on Mediterranean Sea and 17 also we got one question on Mediterranean Sea. We got to know that Mediterranean Sea is one of the most important topic. So we'll try to understand how to study Mediterranean Sea and along with that we'll try to predict what are the important topics on which UPSC might ask question. In order to predict the topics, we have to build the network. So I'll let you know how to build the network so that most of the questions will be entangled into the network of topics that we have created based on the previous paper analysis. The first and foremost thing that we need to understand is Mediterranean Sea is in focus. We'll try to understand each and every core dimensions aspect of Mediterranean Sea at the very first go. So once we understood certain important elements regarding the Mediterranean Sea, we have to move to other related areas like Black Sea, Caspian Sea, Aral Sea, etc. So once the UPSC exhausts questions on the Mediterranean Sea, there is an equal probability that the UPSC might move to other topics. So the overall we'll try to understand Mediterranean Sea properly and along with that certain other important sea which are largely in news or which are very near to the Mediterranean Sea, so that we can able to answer most of the questions which will be asked by UPSC, especially on the mapping part. So Med in focus, first we'll try to understand the Mediterranean Sea properly. So we'll try to understand some of the important countries which surround the Mediterranean Sea and along with that there are 2 to 3 important countries which although they are very close to Mediterranean Sea but they doesn't share any border with the Mediterranean Sea. For example, here if you consider Jordan is very close to Mediterranean Sea but it doesn't share the border with the Mediterranean Sea. Once we understood some of the important countries surrounding the Mediterranean Sea, we'll try to understand some of the important rivers which drains into the Mediterranean Sea. For example, Nile. And along with that, there are certain minor seas which are present in this region. For example, Balearic Sea, Ionian Sea, Sea of Crete. Likewise, we'll try to understand some of the important seas also. And after understanding the Mediterranean Sea properly, we'll try to build our network so that we can able to predict the topics in the UPSC. So at that point of time, we are largely equipped to answer most of the questions, especially in the thematic part. So the network building part starts. So we'll slowly move towards Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. We'll try to understand what all the countries surrounds the Black Sea and Caspian Sea. The Russia is the only country which shares border with both Black Sea and the Caspian Sea, and the rivers which are draining into the Black Sea and Caspian Sea. For example, the Volga river drains into Caspian Sea. The Danube river drains into Black Sea. Likewise, we'll try to understand some of the important concepts related to these 2 particular seas, and especially due to the annexation of Crimea and due to various recent happenings regarding Ukraine and Russia, we'll try to understand the Kiev town properly and the rivers on which the Kiev town is located. So understanding current affairs and aligning with the thematic part will be able to build the network properly and logically so that you can able to crack almost all the questions in the examination hall. Slowly, we'll try to understand some of the important straits which are located between Black Sea and the Mediterranean Sea, and what is the importance of the Bosphorus Strait. The town which is located on the Bosphorus Strait is Istanbul town, and along with that, like once we are done with the Black Sea part and the Caspian Sea and the Mediterranean Sea, we'll slowly move towards Red Sea, Persian Gulf, some of the important countries which surrounds the Indian Ocean, In the recent past, a ship called Ever Given was stuck in Suez Canal. So we'll try to understand some of the important elements regarding the Suez Canal, who controls the Suez Canal, where exactly Suez Canal is located. Slowly we'll try to understand countries surrounding the Red Sea, Egypt, Sudan, etc. And we should make sure that Ethiopia doesn't share the border with the Red Sea. And also we'll try to understand the countries surrounding the Persian Gulf, some of the important places where which are largely in news in the recent past, especially Yemen and Oman, and certain important islands like Socotra Island, which is present very near to Yemen coast. We'll try to focus on some of the important strategic ports of India which are located in the Indian Ocean region. For example, the Chabar port, where India has substantial interest, and the Gwadar port, which is located in the Pakistan, especially Baluch region. It is taking a lot of help from the China. So likewise, we'll try to understand some of the important ports located in the Indian Ocean region. And there are certain strategic islands which are located in the Indian Ocean. We'll try to arrange them in the north-south manner or south-north manner, and understand what are all the important projects taken up by the India in order to increase the strategic presence of its naval bases, and especially the South China Sea. Like in South China Sea, there are a lot of conflicts between China and various littoral states of the South China Sea, namely Vietnam, Indonesia, etc. So we'll try to understand one of 3 to 4 most important islands like Paracel Island, something like that. So you try to trace out, like, from the Mediterranean Sea, we are moving from one sea to another sea, like Black Sea, Caspian Sea, Red Sea, Indian Ocean, and then South China Sea. So far we have understood how to build network on world mapping. Likewise, you try to practice the same thing for different themes, so that you will be having greater heads in the examination. Analyze the previous year papers, understand what are all the themes which are recurring in each and every year. Try to build the network so that you can able to predict the topics and subtopics and dimensions inside a particular theme or a topic itself. So it will give greater edge in the examination hall. At that point in examination hall, probably you will not think that from where exactly this question had come up. But one of the important things that you need to understand while acquiring the knowledge is you should know where to draw the line. So in order to draw the line, take the help of the core dimensions. So we eagerly request all of you to understand the previous year papers and try to build the network on various themes. Probably it might take some time, but it will give extra edge in the examination hall, at least 10 to 12 marks compared to the other people, so that you will be well equipped and more confident in the examination hall while attempting any unpredictable or dicey questions. Thank you so much.